Okay, here's a Ford AC signal crank sensor. What I want to point out to you is this. This is the zero line. Here, that's zero. Even though this is above and below the zero line, like I told you before, and most AC signals go above and below the zero line, and which they do, you see this one barely going to cross the zero line. And the reason why, because the ground wire for the elastic is hooked up to the battery and not the sensor. If they were both connected to the sensor, this would be above or below the zero line. So when you see this, don't get too confused, because the ground wire for the elastic on this picture for this AC signal alternating current is hooked up to the battery ground. That's why it looks like this, but it's the same voltage. The other thing I want to point out to you is that this is an AC signal. The height is from high positive to negative peaks. With increasing speed and RPM, this AC height is going to increase. It's going to actually get higher. So it might go from 2 volts to 6 volts. It's going to get a lot taller than you see right now. Also, my frequency is going to increase. How many times it's turned on off per second can also increase. So with speed and RPM, my amplitude gets higher and my frequency will increase. Because the AC signal produced as a permanent magnet is produced for speed going across a magnet. The faster that magnet, the faster it rotates, the more voltage is put out from the permanent magnet. And the frequency will also increase. And the frequency also increases. Again, zero line is here, normal, because the negative lead is hooked up to the battery. That's why it's not exactly even across the zero line here, like 2 here positive and 2 negative. This is normal. If I was hooked up across the sensor, you'll see it even, semi-even, with 0 positive, 0 negative. Okay, if I go across the connector itself, the sensor itself, like say for this crank sensor, I hooked the elastic straight across the connector on the sensor. The zero line will be same spot, but we could positive and more negative. Now, since I got the negative lead to the battery negative, you'll see a pattern like this. Also, the speed increases when the speed increases, the amplitude increases and the frequency increases. Just because it's a permanent magnet and weight is made up. Okay, you have any questions? Ask me in class. Peace.